Hey, good morning. What's going on? Or afternoon or evening or whenever you watch this, I guess. It's morning for me. Well, it's kind of midday actually. But I've been working since, I don't know, around 9. Today I'm finishing up some of the final touches, trying to run the rigging to the back of the cockpit area here so I can hopefully successfully single-hand this boat pretty easily. I've got some blocks, some pulley blocks here that I've installed. I've got to move them around. I may have to extend this one out a little bit. And then here's another set of pulleys. This is a line organizer, or kind of a, I guess you could maybe call it a cheek. So the lines will come from those pulleys over there, or blocks, and they will feed into here, and they will run down to this chalk, to this line stopper. And I'm just about to install it. I've already put this on, and it turned out awesome. It's super solid. Had to modify it a little bit. I shortened it up a little. It was longer than I really wanted. I didn't want it to hang off the edge here quite this much, but the thing is just too long, and I can't, vertical it because the lines need to run south here. And so I did some dry fitting with my ropes like this. Let me find the other end of this halyard, and like that. And then I've got another halyard here. Let me find the end of it. There it is. Boom, like that. So through a lot of trial and error, this is what I have figured out, is that they will feed just like this. Of course, they won't be tangled. They'll be running clean. This is just for, to show you as an example. So they're hitting the line organizer, and they're making, it's not a 45, I don't know, it's maybe like a 25, 27, maybe a 30-degree angle there. So they're coming off the mast that way, and then coming down. I'll be able to lock them off here, and this is going to be all halyards. This is going to be the new halyard that we added, that I can do whatever I want with. I could run the spinnaker with it. It could be an emergency halyard. It could be a replacement halyard. I could even run the jib off of it, which might be really cool. And then we've got the white sheet here, and then this is my jib halyard. And then the blue line is the main halyard for the mainsail. So they're gonna run back to the block that I can chalk them off. I can lock them off with this baby. This puppy, this will set you back a paycheck. I don't want to have to buy another one of these ever again. And I have another one in the shop behind me here that is a 2-line lock that'll go behind me here potentially. Not sure yet exactly what I'm doing with it, but if I don't use it, it's going back to where it come from, and I get my money back. And then from the line lock to the new 2-speed winch, the new Variant 21, and I've got her apart here so I can get to the holes, and I can mark my pattern, and I can drill, and then I will assemble it right here on the deck. This winch, if you turn it one direction, it's 1 speed, and then you turn it the other direction, and it's this speed. So you see those gears turning. So you've got more power one way and less power the other way. So pretty cool if you need to really pick something up heavy or whatever, pull a sheet super tight, I don't know. Just like the idea of having it. And then of course we've got the jib winches back here. Those are the brand new ones as well. That's what I'm up to. I'm not going to record a whole lot of it because you don't want to watch me drill and get frustrated and cuss and mess with 5200 and get it all over my face. I've already got my holes drilled, and I've got my stainless bolts in. We're going to run a little 5200 down each hole, make a little tiny kind of pad of 5200 there, and when we seal her down and tighten her up, she'll squish out and she'll look great. And then we'll move down to the winch. Okay, Sorry, my hair is a little messy. Shirt's off. Ended up using it as a rag for the 5200 because, as always, it gets everywhere. I mean, my hands are covered in it, and it's because when I was putting the bolts through on the winch, they go through the fiberglass, through the wood, through another layer of fiberglass, and then there's a padding that's in here. It's I don't know, it's foam. And then you end up hitting the headliner. Well, the foam was twisting up on the bolts, and then it ended up, when I'm tightening it, wrapping around the nuts. And I couldn't get the freaking my I don't know what happened. I don't know if I rounded the nuts off. I can't see in there to tell exactly what happened, and I'm not cutting the liner open any further. I ended up I couldn't get a socket to stay on it without twisting, and I don't know if it was maybe the foam had wrapped around the nut, is kind of what I suspect. A little bit of rounding happened, and the fact that it's covered in 5200 and I can't see what I'm doing, and I think that the bolt's too long for the socket depth to go all the way. I ended up having to lock my my vice grip channel locks on the nut and screwing from the top to get them to tighten up. It was a disaster. The shit was everywhere. My hand's covered in 5200, and that's after I've wiped it off. I hate 5200. It's brutal to work with. But we're done. Thank God. This is an upgrade I've been wanting to do a long time. I've been a little intimidated about doing it because I'm drilling, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 holes in the deck. And that should scare anybody about drilling 16 holes in your boat, all within a couple of feet. But here it is. Here is the setup. And it's beautiful. We're led off of the mast here. That big new main halyard. This is our jib sheet halyard. This is our main sheet halyard. We're going to the block. And I know I'm cutting a corner here a little bit, but when the pop top is down, it's a nice smooth corner right here. So I don't want to hear anything about it because I'm not going to redo it. You got that straight? So that's there, and then they're led back nice and pretty and straight, and I don't want to hear that, hey Brian, you put non-skid underneath that, isn't that going to chafe your rope? Well, look, when they're pulled tight, they don't even touch the ground. They don't touch the surface at all, and that's generally how they're kept. Didn't want to pull it up, didn't want it to not match the other side. Hindsight, maybe I didn't want to, I don't know, put it there, but I still think it looks really cool. To the winch. She's a beautiful winch. She's a 21 variant winch. She's a classic. She's made of solid bronze and then stainless steel exterior. She's a simple winch with some gears in the bottom and a beautiful bearing in the middle. She rotates wonderfully this way. Let me unlock my chock. This is, if I pull the sheet or the halyard, we get a little bit of pull assistance. If I rotate the winch that way as well, a little assistance. Now if I rotate my handle this way, it's big time assistance, and you can really take up some weight. Brian, why isn't she going right now on the rope? I know what you're saying, it's just spinning, and it's because she's slick right now. She's been buffed, kind of like me, she's buff. So what you do is you give her a little assistance with your hand on the rope, hold a little tension, and then, so as you're pulling and cranking, she goes wonderfully. And the rope will eventually just kind of burn off that little bit of slick material from the buffing. There is actually, if you look close, kind of a, I don't know, it's a discolored, different texture here. It's supposed to help be grippy. The new the new winches are actually spun and they have grooves, or they'll be spalded. They'll be really kind of, I don't know, rough there. Whatever, I don't care. I wasn't gonna spend $3,000 to $4,000 on a new winch. That's what they cost. This baby, brand new off the shelf when it was first created, was probably $500 or $600. I got her for $100 used, polished her up, serviced her. She's going to be exactly fantastic for my boat and do what I need her to do. And she's better than this original piece of crap. Listen to that. It makes me hurt when I hear it. Oh, it makes my heart hurt. You come over here and you listen to this. Doesn't that sound nice? Oh, that sounds so very nautical. This sounds like Tinker Toy. Yeah, that's crap. This thing's coming off. Maybe I'll do it here in a minute. This baby's coming off. I mean, not a bad device and still in really pretty good shape. Usable. Hate it here. It's a tripping hazard. You run your hand into this thing, or you fall down and you have to catch yourself. This thing's lethal. What if you fell and you hit your head on that? What if it hit you in the face? I mean, this is just the dumbest place to put this thing. This could easily be used, on the back of the boat, out of the way. Maybe up by the mast would be cool. If you wanted to maybe chalk off your back lift. I think I'm going to run my back lift down this side. I have a double chalk just like that one over there. Wow. We've got fighter jets flying over. I can't see him. Can you? It's been weird. I don't know if there's an air show or something going on. Maybe we're getting ready for war. There's been some strange noises happening jet-wise. And earlier there was this rumble. Like if you were, I don't know, 100 yards from a freight train, that kind of rumble. And at first I thought, oh, it's thundering out west somewhere. And it continued. It went on and on. And it went on for a couple of minutes. And I'm like, okay, are we having an earthquake somewhere distant? Or has someone dropped a massive bomb somewhere? And the shock wave's going to hit me eventually. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know what it was. I never figured out what it was. So the new Barton, is it Barton? Yeah, the new Barton chalk, the double chalk will go here. And I'm going to run my topping lift back through here. So if I want to increase tension on the topping lift, I can let it out and let my boom sag. Or if I want to maybe put a little more foot in the sail, I can tighten it up a little bit. My backstay doesn't tighten and loosen without getting tools out and turning the turnbuckle. And so I don't have a fancy way that I can pull a line and adjust my backstay on the fly. And wouldn't that be nice? What if you just kind of change the pressure on your boom? That might be cool. And then the next line I'll run through here, I don't know. Maybe I could run spinnaker sheet through here or something. I've got the halyard over there for a spinnaker. I could run a sheet through here for a spinnaker. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with the second one. I'll figure it out, or I won't use it. But this will be out of the way. And then let's talk about this. I didn't buy, and I need to buy. I actually had it in the cart, and I didn't purchase it. A double cheek block. And this thing's worse than I even thought it was. The bottom pulley is frozen. Oh, hey, suddenly it moves. Top one moved. But if you can see all the checking down here on the bottom of the pulley. It's blown out. I don't know. I'll do a little looking online. This is the brand. See if I can get new pulleys. I could take this apart potentially and which would be a hell of a lot cheaper to put a new pulley in there. But a double cheek block for the spot from Blue Shark, I think about $150 to replace this. But I'm gonna need it. I think that's all I've got going on right now. I'm real satisfied with the way this setup over here turned out. That's great. So all my lines now lead to the rear, except for I'm gonna have to rerun the topping lift. It needs to be a longer rope. But I'm gonna replace it, and then I'm gonna also replace both of these halyards. They are worn out, they're done, they're shot. So it's just, when can I afford to do that, pretty much? And when can I drop the mast again and string them up? So we're getting closer every day. Right now, as the boat sits, we could go sail. And that'd be phenomenal. I'm tempted to take my sail cover off and just run the halyard on this winch and pull it up just to see how she functions. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, let's, I think I've got everything hooked up here. Do I have my, yeah, I got my outhaul hooked. All right, so the halyard is on the winch, and I'm gonna pull it up. Here we go, this is the mainsail. Let's get another wrap on that. Sorry. Up. That's what you shouldn't do there. Okay. We were just talking about this yesterday. My my batten has caught in my lazy jack system. I'm gonna have to pull the main down. Okay, situation corrected. There we go. So now we'll just keep pulling. Oh, she's trying to do it again right there. Got her. So if I wanted more power here, I could start turning the other way. Like this. See, I get a lot more power. I have to pull on it a little bit when I do it. I want a lot of power. There's a little power. Here's a lot of power. You see her going up? We're almost to the top now. Let me pause you. Look at that. That's like artwork. That's a thing of beauty right there. So that is 99.999% of my lines being led to the back. The only line I don't have led back or even in place is a dowser for the jib. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to put one on. I don't have a chalk for it, because that's only a double chalk, where this one's a triple chalk. And typically when I drop the jib, the hanks are so much bigger than the forestay wire, it comes down anyway. You know, if I was in a situation where maybe I had to drop the jib and really get it down on the deck, controlled, yeah, maybe I'd want a dowsing line. But we're going to sail without it for now anyway. And if I decide I need one, you know, I suppose I could put it up here on the mast if I had to. So there we go. What are we looking at here? Forestay, jib halyard, large extra halyard, probably the spinny halyard, which is here and here. Orange is my mainsail dowser. And of course the green lines are my lazy jacks. Dark blue, which you can't see on the mast, is my main halyard. I've got to replace that. That line is shot. Like you can hear it stretching when you pull on it. It's gonna snap. It's a piece of crap. I've got one on order, but it's not gonna get here until, I don't know, sometime early September. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. The jib halyard, honestly, it needs it too. It's also, that's a shot rope. See how that rough texture and the discoloration? It's rough on your hands. It gives, there's no stretch at all, meaning it is stretched out. The new halyard, shiny, pretty. It's got a little tiny bit of stretch to it. Cheap, crappy rope, but for what it's doing, doesn't matter. Also, cheap, crappy rope doesn't really matter for what it's doing. It's a dowsing line, and I can replace that in a heartbeat if I have to. And actually, I did it standing. You would think, oh my gosh, how'd you get a rope all the way up there? Well, I took the old one and I cut it and I spliced this orange rope into it, put a little tiny piece of tape around it, and pulled it up right through the pulley. And I wish I would have kept that up here. I could show it to you. That's it down there. And it's so stretched out, like it's a dead rope. It's stiff. And when a rope's real stiff and hasn't got a lot of gentle bend in it, you can tell it's done. It's fried. My main sheet, it's got a little bit more life in it. It's definitely going to be due to be changed next year, and that's no big deal. It's a short piece of rope. I've got enough halyard. This is the same line. Look at this. Same line, same thickness. Which one looks better? Worn out rope, brand new rope. So I've got 150 feet of this halyard, and I can cut off, what is this? This is probably like maybe, I don't know how many feet that is, but I've got enough of it, I think, to do. I don't know why this main sheet, there's so much of it. Hold on, let me get this off of my wheel here. My winch. So that's all main sheet. You'd never let that much main sheet out. Even if you go the deepest broad reach ever possible, it's not going out. Let's just do it. Let's just look at it and do it. Let's see how much extra rope we really have. So in my opinion, this is just all in the way. Okay, you push the boom. I'm gonna really push the boom out all the way up against the shrouds. Hold on a second. Well, I'll be damned. It's not that much extra. So from the Traveler to the corner of the boat, and I mean, I pushed it all the way out to the shrouds. The boom couldn't possibly go any further out. And you wouldn't even normally sail with the boom out that far, even wing on wing. So I guess I'll keep all that extra rope. This is an extra little chunk. This makes me happy. This makes me so happy because I've been thinking about this and wanting to do this since I brought the boat home. Like, man, I'm going to run all my lines to the back. And I did it. And I can now easily and successfully single hand this boat. Hang on my jib before I leave, motor out of the slip, hoist my jib myself, hoist my main myself, and just go sail. That's amazing. Now if my new tiller would just show up. I can't wait to reveal the new tiller. If it's everything that I really hope it is, it's gonna be so kick-ass. I installed my my LifeLink rescue sling today. this is, I think, a great spot for it out of the way. So this, you rip that open. Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually the backing. You rip open this side. In an emergency, overboard situation, it's tied off here to the back, and you literally just toss the, it's essentially a harness. It's a through the body harness. You put your arms through it, like this guy here. Swimmer gets to it, swimmer puts it around him. You can use the winch to pull the swimmer to the boat, and then need be, put him on the halyard and lift him out of the water. Pretty awesome. I love lift casualty on board. Let's hope they're not a casualty. Let's hope they're just an MOB and overboard. Honestly, I can't think of a whole lot more I need to do to this boat. It's really, like, I could put this in tonight and go sail the way it is. And I learned something I didn't know about the boat. I'd never put the jib up before, and I did yesterday. I didn't realize this is a fractional rig sloop. I knew it was a sloop, but a fractional rig, if you can see where this halyard goes, this line here goes up to right there. Not quite to the top of the mast, probably, I can't tell from here, 2 feet or maybe a meter short. And that allows for you to bend the mast for tuning with the backstay. And that's pretty cool. A regular sloop, the jib goes all the way to the top of the mast, or just barely up to almost to the tip. So my backstay, which is this wire, I put my new flag on the backstay. That was incredible. I put this ladder on the boat, got on the top of the ladder, put my thing up. I'm not real cool with heights, so I didn't look down, and I was a little nervous, but I pulled it off. So this backstay, let's talk about it. This right here is stainless steel, 19 on 1. That is braided, galvanized stainless steel wire, not 19 on 1. Much higher working load right here, not such a high working load. Now, that being said, your backstay doesn't carry a lot of weight, and a lot of times it's almost near slack, depending on what's going on, because the jib pulls forward on the mast, and that backstay, some boats split the backstay about here, and part of it will go down here, part of it will go down here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put an eyelet right here, which means I'm going to do a little more swaging. With my swage, I'm going to get my swage on, and from the eyelet, go down to the deck of the boat on either side, with maybe some Dyneema, which is just as strong as steel. And then put it into a situation where it's leading to blocks, which are pulleys to the common person, and then to some cleats where I could pull that backstay tighter under sail easily and readily, pulling my mast back. It's already got a little bend in it. If you look, I'm standing right under it, and it curves just a little bit to the back. Not a lot, but a little. And I could certainly tighten that backstay turnbuckle to get a little more, but I'm not even going to bother until I really tune the rig entirely all the way around, and then to get it figured out. But anyway, it's a thought process for sure. I could split that backstay, make fine-tuning sailing adjustments to the jib from right here at the back of the boat, which is exactly what I learned in ASA 102. That J-boat was rigged. Let me take a drink. Wow, I was thirsty. That J boat had a split back stay, and he had a line running up here through the cockpit on either side to a cleat. I think the line ran, I can't remember exactly how it was attached, but it ran through either I think an eyelet to a small tiny pulley and then up to a cleat. And so you could grab that line and you could pull it, and you would pull down the backstay, and you could watch the jib tighten and flatten out at the top, and you could also see the top of the mainsail start to luff a little bit. Pretty awesome for fine-tuning the top of your sails. So I mean, this thing, it's not got a lot of pressure in it. You can play it like a banjo. So anyway, that's what I've been up to today. I didn't film any of the install, the block. There's not much to see, honestly. Same as the last one, you know, drilling and 5200. I managed to stay clean today. I was very, very careful. I'm in love with this boat. I really, really am. I went and looked at a boat last night. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but last night we went and looked at a 26 Laguna Windrose. Big boat. I know it only sounds like, oh, it's only 2 more feet. This boat's designed totally differently. It's much deeper of a hull, much bigger V. It's still a similar beam at about 8 feet. But, you know, the hatch here, the companionway, almost twice as wide. Just big. Big cabin down below. Really a nice weekend cruiser. And this thing easily, you could take intercoastal. You could run this thing down to Bahamas and cruise. Had it. The keel was just slightly longer than mine. I think it had just over a 3-foot draft. But the depth of the keel, how from front to back, twice as big as mine. I think 1,500-pound keel, I think it was. Displacement on that boat, 3,600 pounds. I think it was awesome. And it was sitting on this custom trailer. Super cool. So sitting on this trailer, right, and you walk up to the front of the boat, and there's this big square platform right up here about, you know, chest height. And there's a couple steps on this ladder that's welded to the trailer, and you step up and you get on that platform, and then a couple more steps and you go up and you're on top of the deck of the boat. It's brilliant. Just awesome trailer. This guy he's giving it away. He needs the money. He's out of time. He doesn't want to put the time and the money into it. Super nice guy. Right up here in Lawrence, Kansas at Clinton Lake. I want this boat bad, but I don't have the money. I could buy it and it would sit. I don't have the money to put in it. Great shape, but to make it what it really needs to be, like this boat, probably $8,000 to $10,000. New sails, just a host of equipment that it needs to just get it up to, you know, fine sailing condition and single handing. It had a wheel instead of a tiller, which was super cool. Anyway, I kind of fell in love with it, and then I realized the reality of the situation, that there was no possible way I could afford to rebuild that boat. But I dreamed about it for a few minutes. I was like, man, that would be so much fun to rebuild that boat and then sail it. Susan's like, if you really want it, you can get it, but you got to sell your boat. And I haven't even sailed this boat yet, and I'm in love with it. I'm not selling my boat. Like, don't talk like that. In my head, secretly, I was thinking, I'll get the boat, I'll redo it, I'll keep it at Clinton Lake, and then this boat will be at Lake Perry, and even days I'll sail at Clinton, and odd days I'll sail at Perry. That seems reasonable, doesn't it? I thought it did. She didn't think so. So anyway, I got my main up. I was testing my dowsing line. Make sure it was going to be long enough. Oh, I sure wish those awful letters weren't on there. Numbers, I mean. Somebody really didn't take much care putting those on. And I considered taking them off. I laid it down on the table. It was actually the top of the freezer. And started to try to peel one of the corners back on that tape. And it's Gorilla Tape. And there's no way in hell it's coming off without probably damaging the sail. And then it's going to leave behind a horrendous sticky, gooey residue. And I think putting Goof Off on the sail fabric to get the glue off is probably going to compromise it. It's probably going to cause a weak spot. So I have to live with the ugly 360. I want a new mainsail so bad. And I want a new jib. The jib actually looks really good. It's in great shape. It's really more of a Genoa. It comes out and it comes all the way to the shrouds. When I trim it the entire way, it's pulled out to the shrouds, which is a little weird. Of course, when you're in the wind, it won't trim in that far. I mean, I suppose it could, but I don't know. It's just a little weird. You run your jib sheet off your cleat here out over the lifeline and around the shroud instead of inside. It's just weird. It's weird doing it like that. I don't know. I don't have much more to say. I'm rambling anyway for 17 minutes. If you've made it this long, you're a champion.
Inspirasi tanpa batas, you know who I am.